Well, howdy again.
Hello.
We lied.
We did?
Yeah, we're not going to London Bridge this week.
That's right.
Yeah, we did lie. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so
because crazy Auntie Renee can't make it.
she can't
this
make
week,
it. So we're going to hold off because she's really been looking forward to that trip. So we're going to do a repeat trip.
Right.
Back up to the ghost town of Rhyolite. We're going to make some stops. Hopefully see again burros. We're trying. We did it in Oatman, so
Right.
we're doing okay.
You never know.
Yeah,
Or you might see a donkey or a burro.
A burro,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Donkey, burro, ass. I don't know. Whatever.
We see a lot of those.
Well, yeah.
You don't have to go to Raleigh to see those.
Fair enough. So we're going to hit the road. It's a couple-hour drive, maybe a little stop or two along the way. Maybe see some aliens.
Yeah.
So you never know. We're close to Area 51. So we're going to hit the road. We'll see you in a bit.
Here we are at the Area 51 stop, where you can apparently mail to outer space. Right here's a mailbox. So
Airmail.
Airmail. Space mail. Rocket mail.
Rocket mail. Rocket mail. There you go. So this is, again, one of our must-stop places, the Alien Center. It's a great rest stop on your way out to Beatty. You go inside. You might see an alien or two.
Yeah.
Maybe a smush penny machine.
Yeah.
Which is like
Might be.
the thing to do.
Yep.
So again, if you want to send something to outer space,
Right here. Area
there you
51.
go. I don't know how much supposed to.
I don't know.
It's got to be out of this world, though.
Astronomical.
There you go.
Yes.
All right. We're on our way to Beatty now. Well, we made it to Beatty, and we've already seen some donkeys or burros.
But haven't seen any yeses.
Except some on the road.
Maybe one or two.
Stupid drivers. Well, anyway, in the big city of Beatty, Nevada, we actually have Tesla superchargers, which is kind of cool. So we can charge up for our last little leg of the trip up to the ghost town. But in the meantime, we're going to stop and walk around Eddy World. And if you don't know what Eddy World is,
you're going to find out.
It's pretty cool. This is not as big as the one in California.
No.
Sad to say, but it's still kind of cool. So we're going to go ahead and wander through Eddy World and see what cool things we can buy.
Yeah, kind of trouble we can get into.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. So while we were waiting for the car to charge, we decided to take a little walk up the road. And right next to the post office in Beatty, there was what looked like a weather reporting station. And it's a little more than that. It's actually installed by the Nevada National Security Site, or the NNSS. And they worked in conjunction with the Department of Energy for Nuclear Security Administration. And they monitor not only the weather, but airborne radioactivity. So Kathy.
Yes?
The guy who lived here, you know what he shouldn't do?
Throw rocks, obviously.
Obviously, because people in glass houses
should throw rocks.
But it's kind of glass, but what's it actually made out of?
It's actually made out of over 50,000 bottles.
That's a lot of beer and soda.
That's true. And so the builder, Tom Kelly, paid school children, it was built in 1906, and he paid school children 10 cents for a wheelbarrow full of bottles, which would be the equivalent of $3 today.
That's pretty cheap labor.
Yeah, it is, but hey, you could buy a lot of penny candy with 10 cents.
Fair enough. Probably 10 pieces of candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now at the train depot up in Rhyolite, they actually started building it in 1906. It was supposed to be basically a whole city block up here. They completed it in 1907, and that's about the time that the town started to decline. So timing, I guess, is everything. It actually cost about $130,000 to make, which is almost $4 million in today's standards.
And you can tell they had some high aspirations for this train station because it's got some beautiful, like, architectural features and like real classic train station.
And it's at the top of the hill, so while you're waiting for your train, you got a view of the whole community of Rhyolite. Yeah. And I believe on one side off to our left was the women's waiting area, and then to the right was the men's. Well, after it shut down, the guy bought it, thought he'd make a casino and with a gift shop, and it kind of failed miserably. So I guess this is like almost bad luck land here.
Yeah.
But again, they had great plans for the town, and by the time they got it all built up, it was ready to shut down.
The gold ran out.
So if you look off in the distance, way up there, there's a train station. And then we're kind of like down the main drag of downtown Rhyolite. If you look off in the distance, I'll try to zoom in on it. Out of town is the jail. And the buildings were pretty grand back in their day. You look at the size of these, we'll get close up on some of them, you'll see how big they really were. Great, it was a big town, booming town in its day, and now there's just hardly anything left of it.
What we have here are the remains of the Cook Bank building. Cook put a lot of money into this bank, literally.
And yeah, sure.
It was built in the spring of 1907, but by the end of 1907, financial crisis here, referred to as the Knickerbocker crisis, caused banks across the country to go bankrupt. By 1910, the Cook Bank was closed, and John Cook had sold off all of the building's fixtures. So this did not last long, even though it was very grand when it was in its heyday.
It was actually one of 4 banks.
Yes.
And the finest looking out of all of them.
And it was used in movies at one point.
What movies was it in?
That I don't know.
I bet it was in, because I can read better from a distance. The Airmail, The Arrogant, Cherry 2000, The Island Delusion, Ramona, The Reward, and
Wanderer of the
Wasteland, Six String Samurai, Rough Riders, Roundup, Bone Dry, Ultraviolet, and more. Never heard of the movie More.
I have not seen that one.
Mary Tyler Moore?
Or maybe she
Could
starred
be.
in it.
Who
Could be.
So here we have the remains of the Overbury building. John Overbury was actually a native of Orange, New Jersey, and he came to Nevada in 1902, and he also started building his bank in 1907. This originally was going to be a 2-story bank, just to let you know, but he couldn't be outdone by John Cook. So he began constructing to make it 3 stories tall to match Mr. Cook's bank. And again, this bank failed, as we all know, because
The gold ran out.
no gold, no money,
No
no
bank.
banks. Away in the distance, you can see the town of Rhyolite. And if you don't know where we are right now, my only hint is bring out your dead. So if you're a Monty Python fan, you might get it. If not, we're actually at the Rhyolite Cemetery right here. So they were smart enough to have the cemetery a good distance from their city. We're going to go in and check out a couple of graves, and I think that might just do us for the day. One of the legends of Beatty is Panamint Annie. Her birth name was Mary Elizabeth White. Her father was an army surgeon and her mother an Iroquois Indian. She was a rebel from a young age. She actually got grounded from a much anticipated airplane trip because she was riding a motorcycle around the army base. This turned out to be a very fateful airplane trip because the plane crashed and her mother and sister died. When Annie was young, she wanted to be a surgeon, but during those times, women weren't allowed to do that. So her alternative career was a bootlegger, and she ran bootleg whiskey from Canada to Chicago. After that, she worked as a cook for various dude ranches, and then she contracted tuberculosis, so moved to the desert, which was a better climate for her. There, she became a very successful prospector. Unfortunately, she spent her money as fast as she made it, with drinking and gambling. Her personality, though, endeared her to most everyone, and she was even called one of the last immortals of the Old West, right along with John Wayne. So we made it to Rhyolite, and this is one of the first statues we see. This is actually Gold Well Open Air Museum. And the burning question is, why is there a penguin with a miner?
But interestingly enough, there's a plaque that says this is a district of shadows. And we did notice last time we were here that there is one statue that makes very cool shadows on the ground. And I'm wondering, like, if they all do that.
That could be. We'll have to investigate. So we found out the penguin is a penguin.
It was a prospector named Shorty Harris whose trusty companion when he was out prospecting in Rhyolite during the heyday was a penguin.
In fact, a penguin.
Yes, so there you go.
So it goes to show that penguins can live in the desert. Okay, so we're back out in the open air now. We've discovered that penguins do indeed exist in the desert, if not natural, brought in to be a little buddy for a little man. So we have, again, the Outdoor Museum, and the artwork, all in white, is by an artist named Zakowski. And this is his version of the Last Supper. And actually, he took what, real people,
Yeah,
draped
yeah.
them in sheets.
Coated with plaster, and then when it hardened, the people were slipped out. Then he coated the sculpture in fiberglass, and there you have it, right
So
there.
cool. There you go.
The bicycle one was done the same way by the same artist.
Yeah, and we have one more piece.
Oh,
over
there is
there.
one more over there.
Way as we go over this way, kind of looks like a miner, almost. We're going to meander that way and find out what this guy is right here. So it looks like he had volunteers. Now I don't know if I volunteer to go cover myself in plaster. Oh, it's an artiste.
Yes, it's a palette.
So I wonder if it's a self-portrait. Who knows? We got flies here that are really irritating. So here's an artist right here with his palette. And those are basically the three works that he did here. And there's a bunch of more art to see. We're going to kind of walk around a little more.
There she is, the beacon of loveliness that we call Amy, but her actual name, given by the artist, is the Pink Lady.
We're going to kind of zoom in on her. We're going to go a little closer and give you a full 360 of the Pink Lady, more affectionately known as Amy.
Is Amy, yes.
For reasons only known to very few people.
And if you're wondering about the frame around Amy or the Pink Lady, this is a separate sculpture called Portone by Amanda, and her last name has probably 18 letters, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but it means doorway in Italian, and it's a meditation or restoration and transformation spot, and the hidden power that lies within us all. So that's pretty neat, and it makes a very nice frame for Amy. So,
And it's a door. I like it.
And it is.
It doesn't take us to Narnia though.
No, is it a portal?
It is.
Oh my gosh, I've got to walk through it.
It's a thing.
It's a portal.
And if she disappears, what can I say?
Goodbye, YouTube.
If you build it, she will walk through it.
Am I still here?
Where'd you go? All right, here's Amy in all her splendor. We're going to kind of give you an idea of how tall she really is. So Kathy's going to go stand up by Amy. She is quite the imposing creature, isn't she? So the artist is all about reality. About 90% about reality, because Amy does have quite the butt.
Unfortunately, she's got
the 90%
she's got latitude rather than longitude, but she's got attitude, so I'll give her that.
Latitude and attitude. I like it. There you go. All right, so that is Amy, or the Pink Lady. So here's one of my favorite statues here. You see upside down and backwards words. But if you look at the shadows, the sun's a little too high in the sky to see it. But this artwork is all based on the shadow. That's like Kathy was reading that plaque, if this applies. In this case, it definitely does. You can kind of see the going on that one right here.
Keep is a little short.
The keep is a little short, so the sun's just at the wrong angle. But how ingenious is that to come up with an artwork that's based on the shadow, not the actual physical matter that you put it together. Well, we made it back in one piece.
We made it back,
Yep, we
yes.
saw donkeys and aliens and
And
candy
didn't see any ghosts in the ghost town. so
no
that was
ghosts in the
good.
ghost town. We saw some kind of freaky statues though.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
So
it was
they
fun.
kind of look like ghosts, maybe.
Yeah,
a little
some of
bit.
them did, yes.
Yeah. But good time. We
Yeah.
love it up in Rhyolite, love Beatty, love Eddie World.
Yeah.
It's a good fun day for a road trip for
Right,
sure.
a great road
All
trip.
right, so I have no idea what we're doing next week.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'd say London Bridge, but I might be lying. I don't
Right.
know. So wherever we end up is where we end up
Yeah.
next week. So until then,
Find out.
there you go. We'll see you guys.
Bye.